Okay, so of course, as usual, we have a neighbor cutting or whatever those machines are going and they're cutting grass or the hedge or the edge or the weeds. I don't know. There's always someone cutting something around here because it's big plots of land. So I guess they need to maintain. So I'm just going to talk, and if the background noise remover gives a bit of a fuzzy sound, that's why. Sorry. But of course, so my hair's wet. I've just come home and showered after a 6 and a bit kilometer run, and I'm feeling very zen out after the run. And I've got half an hour to do something with before I go and fetch my son. I'm fetching him I'm fetching him from school just now, him and his little friend. So it's the perfect time to sit and chat. And there's one thing on my mind. I was listening to a podcast as I do, and this one young woman, I think she said she was 30 or 31, something there-ish, and she's chosen not to have children. And of course, you can guess she's received a lot of backlash from people because any woman who chooses not to have children, it's like, why? How? What's wrong with you? And when I think about that, I think our society really is quite narrow and limited in what it expects from women. And I personally have an unpopular opinion, which is I don't think not every woman should have children. I really don't think so. I think a woman that chooses not to should be supported in that choice. I honestly, even though I have a child and he is the best thing that's ever come into my life, it's the best thing I'm doing with my life, there's zero regrets. It is still difficult and hard to raise a human being. I cannot deny that. It is the hardest thing. And I don't think most people are actually well suited to be parents, to be honest. Sorry, I know there's a lot of you that are good parents out there, but there's a lot that are not. And there's a lot of people I think should not be parents. They should not have had children. And I don't think society should be pushing people to have children. Okay, obviously the planet is also overpopulated, so there's that as well. I'm a typical Greek. I drink water after my coffee. That habit has come since we lived in Greece because they bring you water with your coffee. But anyway, back to this woman who has chosen not to have children. I think it's wrong that we make women feel bad about that decision. It is her life. She should do what she wants to do. And if she feels that this is right for her, good for her, more power to her. And I think we need to support women in that decision. I really do. And I love the fact that I have a child. I also really love the fact that I have one. And they find that quite weird too. They're like, where's the other one? Where's the sibling? Isn't he going to be lonely? Oh, shame. You need to provide him with a brother or a sister. Well, are you going to pay for the tuition? Are you going to raise that child? Are you going to get up in the middle of the night? Are you going to change the nappies? No. So shut the F up. How, when people force their opinions on you when you didn't even ask. You didn't ask. They just ask how many kids you have. If you say one, then they tell you need to have another one. That's none of your freaking business. So there's that. So I feel it from that point of view where there's the single child stigma. They don't like it if you just have one. You must have two or three. Two is perfect. Three is acceptable. When you start having 4 or 5, then people are like, whoa, that's too many. All these societal, they're not even rules, but they are shoulds. We should upon each other all the time, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't should on each other. But I think women should just be left the F alone. Please, can we all just, and men, but I'm talking woman to woman here. Can we just let women have their lives? If they tell us that they don't want children, as women, because women do this to women, we should just say, that's wonderful, good for you, and move on. Good for you, and move on. Even if you think having children is the best thing ever, and I think having my son is the best thing ever, I wouldn't impose that on any other woman, and I don't think we should. We shouldn't put any kind of pressure because that decision is so life changing. You don't know what direction a child could take her life in and whether it will be good for her. You just don't know. So shut the F up. Anyway, there's my unpopular opinion. And as I say, I see too many people who are not fit to be parents, mothers, fathers, having kids, which is also not right. Of course. Now all of this goes without saying. I think you would infer from what I'm saying that I fully think abortion should be legal everywhere across the world because it is the woman's body. Yes, I know two people came together to create that life, but usually it's an accident. Usually they're underage, and usually when there's an abortion being considered, and usually he's gonna duck. He's not gonna stick around and help her. Usually, not always, but often, and usually then she is the one left with this responsibility, and that's not fair. So if you're going to ban abortion, then you need a law to say that the boy that created this, co-created this life, he needs to stick around. He needs to help her. He needs to pay. And that's not going to happen because, of course, that would protect the woman. So yeah, that's my feelings on that. I think it's unfair to take that away from women without giving them some kind of um, number one, it's her body, so the choice should be there. But if it's going to be taken away, that would be the next sort of scenario, because the impact it has on those two young lives, and in fact, it's not even about women. Abortion is also pro men, because these young men that, I mean, so many of them, they're too young. They don't know what they're doing. They have an accident, a whoopsie. Here comes a little baby. Even the man would want her to have an abortion. So I don't really know what is this anti-abortion thing about. Who's it helping? Who's it helping? I don't understand the long-term thinking behind it. It really, anyway. So that's just my thoughts on that. But on to better topics, because in general, I'm not a political, I don't talk about all this stuff. But seeing as I've got time to kill and I feel like relaxing, why not? I thought, let's go there. Let's go there. So yeah, my hair's just drying, no makeup, but I feel after a run, my skin it looks better. It looks more rosy. Well, obviously, because you're a bit red, but I feel like my skin gets better. Anyway, Yogi, you want to come? Do you want to come? You want to come say hello? There he is in the background, as always. Uh, and I thought maybe you guys are curious to know a little bit more about me, like who I am, where I come from, why I've ended up on YouTube, how the heck am I supporting myself. So let me just start with um, I was born in Johannesburg in South Africa. That is, how am I going to describe this now? It's kind of north from where I am, inland. I suppose most of you know where Johannesburg is. And my mom is a Greek immigrant, so she was born in Greece. So I've got Greek blood in me, and my gran is French, so my mother's mother. So I've got some French in me. My dad was born in South Africa, but his heritage is, from what I understand, Scottish, Welsh. There's some British, I don't know. So most South Africans who are white have European heritage, not all, most. And so that's like my whole mix. Because I remember when I was in Greece, they would just look at me and say, but in South Africa, why are you white? Like, you're from South Africa, and how could you be? So there is a lot of misunderstanding that, yeah, we can live here, and we do, and we can be born here, like I was. Because I do think a lot of my main viewers on my main channel, well, the analytics tell me a lot of you guys are from America. I would love to go to America one day and just see. There's so many places I want to see. But anyway, so I was born there. And then when my dad got a transfer, we came down to what's called the East Coast, KwaZulu Natal. It's called KZN. And I've been pretty much here all my life. I've lived in Greece for just about 2.5 years, from 97 till around just after 2000. I saw what's it? Yeah, when it became the new millennium, the 2000, that New Year's Eve. I was in Greece. That was awesome. We were sitting on a bank looking at the Acropolis, and then they had this whole fireworks display. It's a moment that will be etched in my brain forever. I remember thinking, I'm here in Europe watching this little girl from South Africa. There I am, because we had immigrated as a family, and that was, yeah, it was such a cool feeling. I loved it, and I really enjoyed Greece. The Greeks, some of them are a bit rude, not all, but some. I found the Greeks quite harsh in some ways and hard to tolerate because they're a lot more loud and aggressive. But on the plus, they're also very warm and loving. So there's, like any place, good and bad. But yeah, so anyway, I grew up in South Africa, went to school here. Sorry, I've been using these nasal plasters and my nose is very itchy. I think there's some of the glue left on this nose, on the side of my nose. And anyway, I grew up here, went to school here, went to a Steiner school, which is also called Waldorf education. And the most famous celebrity I know that's been there is Jennifer Aniston. I love to say that because I just love her. I think she's cute and great. Um, and little fun fact, I matriculated at the top of my whole class, which means I was the nerd and the boffin and the clever one, and I beat all the boys in school. So I feel very, very proud of that. And then I went on to, well, then we went to Greece. Then I studied 1 year of graphic design in Greece, in Greek mostly, not all. They did try and help me. They spoke a lot of English. And then I came back here and completed my studies. And then I never ever worked as a graphic designer after that. So there you go. But I was an illustrator and I did watercolor drawings for 20 years for a company. My drawings would go on the product labels on the front. And I loved that job. That was a job from heaven that landed in my lap. So sometimes things are meant to be. I really feel that that job was carved out for me from the universe. And the way I got it was through a girl that I was at tech with, and she was doing the design work for these people who are relaunching their products. And it just blossomed into something. So I always did that and worked another job until I was bold enough and brave enough. And it took me like 15, 16 years to be bold enough to negotiate a retainer fee, a contract where they pay me monthly and I just do the work regardless of like how busy or not busy it was. And that was the most blessed position when I got to that point with them. Now I've lost that contract. I lost it, when was it, last year? June, July, August. So they told me in June, and they paid me up till August because it's a 2 month when we can break the contract. And I haven't been working officially since then. YouTube has been my little side hustle, and yeah, it's tough. It is so much harder to do YouTube than I even imagined. And I know I'm not a natural born, like I don't edit well. I hate editing, to be honest. It's not my thing. I do probably at some point need to hire an editor, but I'm not making enough yet to do so, at least in my mind. I would need to make at least, I would say, $1,000 or more a month to make it worth my while to pay somebody to edit. Because how many videos in a month? Let's say I just do one a week. It's 4 videos, 4 edits. I would even need to make probably $2,000 a month in order to afford an editor, because what are they going to charge per edit? So YouTube is, it's tough. It's rewarding, but it's tough. And so I always say it's not for everyone. You do see some people who have grown and are succeeding, but the growth was slow. I've not really seen somebody take off overnight. There are a few, they do exist, but I would say if you are thinking, maybe you've stumbled upon this video, if you would ever think of starting a YouTube channel, do it now before you need it as a main source of income. Do it as a side hobby, side hustle, and it's very doable as a side thing, because now to start it, you don't need much. You just need your phone, ideally maybe a microphone, because I do find audio is better with some kind of professional equipment. Don't worry about lighting. That is the last thing you need. You just need a window, a big enough window. Sit in front of that window, do something to create a background. You can always buy one of those screens or use like a drop sheet or something. Obviously, create some time and space in your week. You could just do one video a week. And if you shared your passion, your hobby, your knowledge, your skills, it could be life advice. People love that stuff. You could do it. It doesn't require a lot of skill. It really doesn't. And if you have a Gmail account, you've automatically got access to a YouTube channel. So it's not difficult, but it's not an overnight make money thing. But it's very, very rewarding. It's so rewarding for me when I like now my main channel's at the point where I'm starting to get comments like daily. And I was dreaming of that moment. Like I would put out videos in the beginning and no one would comment. And I might just get one random comment. And I would encourage all my family and friends, just please leave me a comment, you know. But now I'm getting regular enough comments that I can see there's more of a, people are responding. People are starting to watch. It's happening. It's happening. The wheels are turning. Excuse me, I'm gaining that momentum and it's so rewarding. And I know I still keep thinking, what is my voice? What is my voice? What is my voice? Because obviously, like you, I have such a wide variety of interests. I love running, although, like I've said, running doesn't love my knees always and my hip, but I went for a run today. We'll see how that goes. I love weight training. I love nutrition. I love health. I love, even though I hate the word anti-aging, there needs to be a better word. I love, let's say, pro or aging well. I don't know. We've got to think of a new word, guys, here. But I do like treatments, skin treatments, whatever, beauty treatments that can improve the quality. I think it's more improving the quality of your skin. I have serious doubts that anything can help with the sagging other than actual surgery. Or maybe there are. That they say there are some of these devices. I don't know. Who knows how much they cost? I'm not sure. But I do like I use my tretinoin. I have been for a few lasers. I do feel they are still too expensive for the results that they give. I feel that the results are not long lasting enough. I have made a whole video on my main channel, everything I've had done. But yeah, it's not that they don't work, they do, but they're not super, super like, you don't go, wow, that was an amazing result. You probably need to do lasers fairly regularly, like 4 times a year, 6 times a year. I don't know. Who's got that kind of money? Like who? I really, unless you are somebody in that field, or you're a doctor, or you're maybe a very prominent businesswoman. Let me just check the time to go and fetch my son. So I do feel like I enjoy that stuff, and I have made videos on it to try and help other women share my experience. I did Profiler. I'm a bit about Profiler. I'm not too sure whether it works. Again, if I had all the money in the world, I would be doing these things and rigorously testing them, but I don't. And here's something I think about quite a lot. Sorry for all the coffee drinking, but trying to get in my coffee before I go and fetch. Um, I think a lot about all the money that a woman spends in her lifetime on all these various things. So, and also I think about how sad this is as well. A young girl's born into this life. She's got, let's say, call it 85 years. In her lifetime, she's going to probably assume, she might have a few surgeries. Like she might assume she's going to have a boob job or not always. She might assume at some point she'll have a tummy tuck. She might assume she could possibly be in for a Caesar, depending. So she will assume she could be in for, she might want a facelift one day. She might want, and these are things nowadays that a woman born into today's world is kind of looking ahead of her life and thinking, there will be some surgeries. Not every woman, and I'm not saying she should. I'm actually saying it's quite sad that we women are the bodies that are subjected to this through the pressures, through our crazy society. And I'm not saying it's wrong to do those things either. I really believe it is your life. your body, your bank balance. But think about it. Let's say a woman does a couple of lasers, a few microneedling sessions throughout her life. She spends money on Retin-A, tretinoin. She spends money on a couple of these at-home devices, like you get these LED masks. I've never used one. I just watched a video now recently about derma rolling, and this woman claims she gets results, and they're not expensive. So now, of course, I'm thinking about buying a bloody derma roller. Should I? I don't know. Should I spend 250 Rand, or should I just keep my own money in my pocket? But she did it all over her body, and she's saying it helps with crepey skin. The photos are a little bit iffy. Maybe there's a 1% difference, but again, like she says, she'll take it, and maybe I would too. I mean, she only derma rolls her whole body once a month. But then again, there's the time commitment. How much time are we women spending in our lifetimes and money on our appearance and our hair, dyeing our hair, our nails, waxing? So if you think about it and you add it up, maybe it's teeth bleaching, maybe it's eyelash extensions. Thank God I gave that up. Those just didn't work for me. It burns, and it's not a me thing. And when I look back at old videos where I'm wearing them, I look terrible. And my partner loved them. So I'm like, what was he thinking? And he encouraged me to get them because he said, no, they look pretty. I'm like, no, they look terrible. Anyway, so fluttery and false. You can go to my main channel and check out some older videos. I look back and I shudder. Bad choice. Anyway, yeah, it's nails, eyelash extensions, hair dye. So those are the three kind of quote unquote normal things. Waxing, shaving, of course. Laser hair removal is another one women do. We get, like I say, limelight, like IPL, to remove the spots and the discoloration. You can even have your veins, the little spider veins zapped. You can have sclerotherapy, which I've actually had on my legs, where they remove the unsightly veins. I had one that was painful and sore, and I had to go to a proper doctor. And that's kind of medical, but kind of not. I went under surgery for like deep vein removal because they were saying that, I don't know what they said, it didn't get rid of the problem. I personally have had, and I'm open about it, breast implants. I've had a nose job. Don't regret that. Best thing I ever did. So I myself have been under the knife twice for cosmetic things. So all the money over my lifetime that I would spend on my appearance, I wonder what that would add up to. And what does a man spend on his appearance? Haircuts. What else do they spend? Gym membership. Oh yeah, gym memberships. Let's call that as well. What else do we women spend money on? Am I missing something? Teeth bleach. I said that. I don't know. Some women put contacts in. Some women go and straighten their hair. Luckily, I don't really need to do that, but I've done that too. I've done the microkeratin and the Brazilians just for the smoothing, glossing effect. There's also more money wasted. All the hair repair treatments, all the body lotions, and yeah, we go for pedicures where they file your feet. There's so much. Oh, the threading of the eyebrows, I just pluck mine. Yeah, so what we spend in brain power thinking about all this, mental energy, time, and money, I would say it's a good third of our lives, probably a good quarter maybe of all the income we ever make. I don't know, maybe less, maybe it's a fifth, depending obviously on the individual woman. Not every woman spends. Mm. And then, of course, women spend on photo shoots, and then they do like these boudoir shoots for their men. We also spend on lingerie for the guys. We spend on fashion and high heels. Let's not forget about that. And we need like an accessory, like a whole lot of accessories, earrings and jewelry and shoes. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. They are great. I love it all too. I go through phases where I get like beauty fatigue. That is a video I need to make. And then I take a break and then I go back into it. But yeah, it's quite something. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I honestly don't believe that there's a right or wrong. And we are born into the culture that supports and celebrates this. So it is what it is. And then obviously if you have boobs as well, like you get your implants, at some point you may need revision, probably. They say, I've been reading that they say you should always get them replaced every 10 to 15 years. That seems a bit too soon, in my humble opinion. But also we get breast reductions, we get, like I said, butt lifts, tummy tucks, and it's the majority is a woman doing all this. So the majority of us females, not only are we the child bearers and our bodies are getting used for that and stretched out and whatever, then we are going through all this other stuff. Our lives are so centered around our bodies, and then we have our periods as well, and then we go through menopause. It's so our bodies, our looks, our appearance, our bodies, our hair, I think no wonder sometimes, no wonder we're exhausted, and we just, we just run out of energy because we are not as free. This morning, my partner got ready and was out the door in 10 minutes. Let me just keep it on the time. And he said, like, it's so freeing. And I was like, I need an hour. I need a full hour. And that was for him, including a shower. And he was out the door. And also, they get to wear comfortable clothing for the most part. Sometimes a suit and, what's the word? Those shoes that they wear. Can't think. Smart shoes for men, whatever they're called. They're not court shoes, but smart shoes for men. Dress shoes, there we go. You know, sometimes they find the dress shoes are a bit tight or uncomfortable, but for the most part, men don't do anything that is uncomfortable. That's why they also don't go for all these treatments. They could. I mean, my partner had under eye filler, and he liked the result, but he pretty much, he doesn't feel the need. He doesn't feel less than if he looks how he looks. He it's not taking away from his self-image in any way, shape, or form. And my heart breaks for all of us women, all of us girlies. So I think I'm just going to leave you with those thoughts today. This, again, is a video about not much about anything, but it's about us women. Woman to woman, we have our unique difficulties in life, and I know men have their own. They really do. I don't think I would want to be a man. I think it would be just as hard in its own way. Yeah, but we have difficulties, and I can see why sometimes we are just tired and we want to be understood. We wish that they would just understand a little bit of what we go through. I love you all. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.